Hello, just a really quick one this week. We are going to look at our objects slightly more formally. We've covered them a little bit in the past, but we're going to actually talk about the point of them today. And going to have a little look at some settings in our studio to make your life a bit easier when you start creating lots of objects and things that you don't necessarily want are to remember every single time. So just going to make sure you're all set up and ready to go, and then next time we are going to start looking at some packages and functions so that you can actually get down to handling your own data and doing some cool stuff with it. So as you can see, we're going to have a little code along today rather than having something pre-prepared. So we are going to look at assigning things to objects. So here we've got an object called my first variable, and I'm using the backwards arrow to assign 5 plus 3 to that, and I'm just going to do a little sum, and once I've run that you can see that my first variable has been assigned 8, and therefore my first variable times 2 is 16. Some other ways that you can assign objects in R: you can use the equal sign, like here. So my other variable equals 7 times 4, or you can do your sum first, or whatever it is you want first, your command, your function. In this case, 9 minus 5. Right assign arrow, yet another variable. And when I run this block, you'll see that they also appear in the environment. And you can see here the different naming conventions. I don't recommend that you do all of these in one script, but as you can see, you can use underscores, full stops, small letters, and capitals, and any combination of them. But generally speaking, pick one and stick to it. Now, if you make a mistake or decide that you don't need a variable anymore, you can use the rm function, which stands for remove, and just by running that with your variable name inside, that will remove it from the environment. Or you can use the broom to sweep the environment, but as you can see here it says, are you sure you want to remove all objects? So just be aware if you're using that is going to remove them all, unless you do as we're about to now and do the following steps where you can change the view of that environment ever so slightly. So we'll just add another couple of variables in to play around with, and then continue with that. So as you can see here, it doesn't have to be just numbers that you assign to variables. You can also use character strings. Here we go. In that drop down, just choose grid instead of list, and now you've got tick boxes for the ones that you want to delete, and obviously we're going to leave please don't delete me there, and that said then 2, so we can see that it has just removed the 2 objects that we wanted to get rid of. And now finally, one quick setup point for R1. Now that you have got to creating variables, you want this box here unchecked, because it will restore all your variables every single time you reopen R, which can get quite messy and confusing if you're working on several things at once. So like I said, quick and easy today, but I hope that through the last 4 blogs and 3 videos, that should have covered all the basic setups and beginner problems that you're likely to encounter, and hopefully that'll stand us in really good stead for cracking on next week with some functions and some packages, and sort of getting ready to start working in R with your data and real life situations, and making the whole thing a bit more relevant to you. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.